Alright, I've hit the start streaming button. It didn't immediately drop 6,000 frames. So I think we're good to go here for what should be the final episode of River King: A Wonderful Journey here on Sound Goblin Gaming. Thank you all for joining us. As always, I am Bograd or Josh.
I'm the Krampus.
And I am not a fish.
Off stream, I did a little bit of prep work. First things first, I'll just outright admit it. Since I've already basically shown that when it really comes down to it, bait is effectively free and costs nothing but time in this game, I just went ahead and put in a code that just gives me 99 of every bait, because I could kind of get there anyways, and it'd just be a waste of time.
Yeah.
Otherwise. But yeah, off stream, I did a little bit of prep work. So I caught us the electric eel we were looking for. This one's 70 inches long. And I also got us some stuff that's necessary for another quest we need to do. There is one additional quest which I was not able to do prep for because it is the only quest in the entire game that you cannot preemptively prepare stuff for.
Ah,
Oh.
Yeah, it actually specifically. Hey, Morton. That
hey.
the final showdown with Naoko specifically requires you to have no other fish in your basket when you go to turn them into her, and it's a series of fish you have to turn in. So
Mm.
it is kind of a weird thing. Like I said, like every other quest in the game, you can just get what you need ahead of time and just like double talk to people. The final showdown with Naoko over here in the swamp does not let you do that. So yeah, first things first, let's go ahead and hand over this electric eel we've got.
Howdy, Hunter.
Hey, Hunter.
Grilled big eel.
Yep, so that gets us the grilled big eel rep seat, but the more important thing is that we actually can't do the Naoko showdown here in the swamp until we have done this quest. So but that's all taken care of, so anyways, with that being done, we actually need to head back to the rapids real quick, because there is one other quest we needed to do over here. That's going to be sort of up in the northeast corner of this area. Remember where the guy is. I think that's him over there. The Hiroshi over here is very hungry, and is a piss-poor fisherman, so he can't catch the fish he wants to eat. Sounds like a personal problem. I'm out.
Want a bet sound?
I would actually like if the quest was Noskuru quest complete.
No, that would be the PS2 Harvest Moon or PS1 Harvest Moon game.
Are you ready for fishing? Or ready for farming?
So the PS1
No.
Harvest Moon game literally starts off with you show up to the farm that your like grandpa owned, and like one of the guys from the village is there to show you around, and walks you around the whole farm, and takes you to oh, here's where the pond is, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, and then ends up back in front of the farmhouse and asks, so what do you think? Sounds like a fun time, huh? And it actually gives you a yes no prompt. And if you say no, he immediately just goes, "Oh, well, have a nice life then, I guess," and walks off. And it literally cuts to a game over screen of the dude in his house sitting in front of a TV. I found it completely by accident, and it's one of the funniest experiences I've ever had in games. So the chef told him it was a big fish. So he expects maybe big iguana. So the big iguana is caught up at the very top of the river in the first area, up to near the waterfall. But I just so happen to have one in my basket already.
Sounds basket of plenty.
Well, basket of 3 fish at this point since I already turned in the electric eel.
Compared to this kid, that's plenty.
But the big iguana is not the fish he was looking for. So instead, he thinks it's a big rainbow trout. We've already caught a few of those, so those are over in the river area, or the mountain stream like area. We already have one of those. What a coincidence. But the big rainbow trout is also not the fish he's looking for. Finally, he's like, maybe it's a big catfish.
That sounds dumb. That's
Now,
probably correct.
The big catfish, we already have one. The big catfish is a horrendous pain in the ass to catch because you need a big catfish, but not a monster catfish. And the monster catfish are far more prevalent. The big catfish absolutely took me the most time and effort out of any of these to actually catch.
Cook with all your heart.
No, I'm going to use his cookbook instead.
It turns out it was a big catfish. I'm not sure how you could mistake that. It must taste like mud, so... So you get the big catfish miso soup recipe, which we don't actually care about, because, by the way, I've decided I'm not going to bother with cooking. It's just a pain in the ass to grind up.
That's fine.
More importantly, we get the treasure map. So by the downstream bridge where 3 dead trees meet. Now the thing that's actually really annoying about this particular treasure map is if you don't already know what you're looking for, there are multiple areas where there are 3 dead trees.
Ah.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I remember where this actually is at. I believe, if I recall correctly, it should be just south of the cooking contest, which I think is on the other side of the river, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me check my map. Yeah, so here's the cooking contest. And if we come a bit south from here, we find 3 dead trees. And we got a piece of something. And I believe that should be all of them. Because we got the one from the stream. We got the one from the mountain. Got the one from the fields. This is the one from the rapids we just got. And then, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that's what we get from the swamp showdown with Naoko. Or no, never mind. There is one from the swamp, but it's not from Naoko. So that's one other thing we have to do, but it's not a. You don't actually have to do anything to get that treasure map. The kid just gives it to you. So
Huh.
for once, the game actually isn't a piece of shit to you. But now, let's go to our final showdown with Naoko here.
Which, unlike the rest of the game, is a dance-off.
I mean, do remember we had to solve a murder mystery at one point.
Yeah, I know.
I think she's down over here now. Oh, actually, let's just talk to this kid. So that's the kid that actually gives us the map, but I believe we have to do the Naoko challenge first. Now I'm trying to remember where the hell she's actually at in this swamp area. There she is. after all the times we've soundly humiliated Naoka, we've decided it's finally time to put an end to this rivalry.
She about to get her comeuppance?
Just about. However, this one is special. So as I mentioned before, this one you cannot prep in advance. And so basically, the idea is we have to catch 7 fish. The first one needs to be between 1 and 11 inches.
Constantly
Okay.
get larger, I assume.
Yeah, so every time we turn one in, it goes up a size, essentially.
Balance is everything.
Until it isn't.
But yeah, this is the only quest in the game where you have to have a completely empty basket other than the fish you're turning in.
So they were clearly capable of doing that, but chose not to.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So there's our 7-inch catfish. We do just have one fish. Oh no, the eel is still there. That's right, we didn't actually lose the eel when we turned it in, so we'll go sell that to the fish shop real quick here. It's
Right,
always
because
hard
they
to
didn't
tell.
actually want it.
It's always hard to tell with quests which ones actually remove the fish and which ones don't. Wrong shop.
So that one does actually make some logical sense. He didn't want the eel.
Yeah. That's the way back. Where the hell is the actual shop on this damn map? Oh, right, we can't actually sell fish on this map yet because we didn't do that quest, so I don't care. Head back to the next map over really quick. There we go. And we have sold off that electric eel. Now make our way back and turn in this 7-inch catfish.
I once caught a catfish this big.
So coincidentally, this being the only quest in the game which requires you to not have any other fish in your basket when you turn them in, also means that this is basically one of the only times in the game you ever actually utilize one of the features of this game.
Oh, huh.
So as you may have noticed, when I catch a fish, it asks me if I want to put it in my basket or not. There is basically no other time in this entire game where that answer should be no.
So there's no reason not to take the fish, but in this particular case.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to annoyingly go back to the shop in order to sell it, and etc.
Yeah.
Such as
Especially if you haven't done the quest to get the shop here, so you have to go back one screen to sell every single time.
Or cook it into food.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you
Yeah.
have the recipe for it.
Yeah.
But you have to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah. So we turned in a fish between 1 and 11, so she goes off and does her fishing.
Duh!
Instantaneously.
She caught a 15-inch black bass. Now she wants me to catch fish between 16 and 22 inches.
I noticed the margin is also getting smaller.
It's just a coincidental thing, it's not.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Well,
it's not-
my guess is that based on it being called like 7, I'm assuming that it's going to jump at like 7 every time.
Not exactly, because we went from a max of 11 to a minimum of 16 on this one.
It could also be that Naok is just bad at naming things.
Yeah.
Well, so we started, so we had the bigger thing, but once that happened, this one is 16 to 22, which is a 7-point jump.
Yeah.
Or a range of 7. I mean, it'll be easy to tell the next one if it's 7 or up to 7 more than hers.
Right. God, I did not actually put a worm back on. Looking for a medium fish silhouette. That one's kind of long. That one, maybe? Oh, but that one's stuck in the spin loop. So something I haven't brought up is that it is occasionally... Oh, no, he was just actually turning around. There is actually a weird kind of glitch-ish that occurs in this game, wherein sometimes fish will just sort of spin in place, and if they do that, they will never actually break out of that loop.
Huh.
No matter what, like, you can't catch them or anything. Okay, that guy's not interested in worm.
Those are set dressing fish.
Go to insect. Most medium fish will go for insects. So, like this guy here that I'm put next to, I'm pretty sure is stuck in that spin loop. Oh no, he was actually not. Yeah, this one looks to be probably in the right size range. Might be a little short, let's see. 12-inch, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and release that. Oh, not interested. How about you? Oh, so the other thing that's annoying about this is she doesn't actually take the old fish.
Ah, so you have to get rid of the old fish.
Yep.
Are you allowed to just throw fish out of your basket?
Nope. Like, once I'm in the basket,
Huh.
there's nothing I can do with it. So I do have to keep running back to the store, but it's not too big a deal. we are technically not all that far off from entrances to a couple of other areas, so... Because the swamp area here goes both to the rapids and the stream, and the rapids fish shop is literally right here next to the entrance, so... Alright, so we've got our 16-incher. Next is Naoko's next fish. He comes back with a 25-inch Kamaruchi.
Damn.
So our next one is 26 to 35 inches. Which also shows that it is not a
Yep,
gap of
that's
7.
Nope.
The name of the game 7-Up I don't think has anything to do with the criteria. It's just what the game is called. I'm gonna run over here real quick and go sell off that 16-inch fish. I mean, I'll even spoil it right here, especially the last one actually doesn't have an upper limit. It's literally just something bigger than 40 inches. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to the small fish bait. Yeah, so this one here, oh no, broke out of it. It was starting to look like it was going to be in the spin loop. Of course, now that I've talked about that happening, it's not going to show up on stream ever.
Of course.
If you roll back the footage and watch some of the old videos, I guarantee you will see sometimes there are fish that just spin in place forever and ever. That should be within, right? Yeah, because it's 26 to 35. So, yeah, we're good.
It's one of the best methods of bug fixing. Letting it spite you.
Yeah. It doesn't happen super often, and there are actual specific circumstances that cause it to occur. It has to deal with sort of the fish's collision detection. Generally, what it'll cause it is either if a fish ends up spawning too close to, like, a shoreline, or if, like, two fish end up spawning in the same spot.
It's amazing that this village has learned to accurately measure things using periods.
There's 39-inch grass carp. So now if you want those to catch any fish that is 40 inches or bigger. So one last quick trip over to the fish shop to sell off what we got. And then we're going to go come get a big boy of some sort. realistically, probably another eel or electric eel.
Something that just comes in a very big size.
Yeah, I mean they're what the big fish that are in this area, that like plentifully in this area, are. So and to make that more likely, we're going to switch our bait over to frog. And put out the water here.
I'm gonna go eat dinner. I'll be back.
Alrighty.
Yep.
So now we're looking for these fish with the sort of really big silhouette here. Oh, that's a monster catfish.
Oh. Certainly earns his name.
Yep, should still be big enough.
Big old catfish. Great for a catfish fry.
So as I mentioned in previous streams, the bigger a fish is, kind of the harder it is to reel it in. It reels in slower, it fights back more. Holy Jesus!
Well, that's a bit too large.
Wow.
I don't think I have ever seen a fish that large in this game.
Wow.
That is
I don't think that accurately represented the 13-foot long catfish.
yeah, that's like fucking
About
13, 14
12 and a
feet.
half foot catfish.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I think there's some scaling issues there.
We caught a fish that's too big to turn.
Come over and drop it on Naoko.
You need a bucket. You need a wagon for that.
And so we get the boss fly rod, which is the best fly rod in the game. Just to kind of show that off here. So we've got the fly rod here, and then there's the boss fly rod. You can tell it's the best one because the next thing in the list is the lure rod. So this is the best fly rod in the game. We've got the best lure rod in the game. The only thing we don't actually have yet is the best casting pole, but we're not really going to need it, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so now that we've done that, I believe we should be able to go talk to Kazuma over in the corner there, and he should give us the map. The hint for that is when we talked to him before, he basically said, like, I want to make a drawing of you with a really big fish, and so that's kind of the trigger there is... And boy, did we fucking deliver.
I question if sound would be able to carry that fish.
I don't... No, especially not in a fucking wash tub that we're using as a boat. I don't think it's been particularly humid here, Vorden. I'm not really sure. I haven't been outside yet.
Not to my knowledge.
I mean,
Especially since the last couple days have been pretty hot, so it'd be dry out here.
Yeah, I mean, we also live in a desert, so it doesn't get humid that often.
No. The only time it really gets humid out here is early in the year when it rains and immediately gets hot. But even
All
then,
right.
it's only like a day or two.
So, the clue from this map is the treasure is in a slightly hidden field of flowers. Now then, just north of here,
Field of flowers.
there's a little path heading off to the east,
Oh,
and there's a field of flowers over here. I believe should be somewhere in here. I think there we go. So we put them all together and realized that what we've been collecting are pieces of a fish fossil. But we got no fucking idea what kind of fish it is, because, I mean, we're a dumbass. Also, something exploded.
oh god, we're gonna try and put it together, and then we're gonna get one of those awful Sword and Shield Pokemon combination fossil monsters.
Now we're just gonna go talk to old Smarty and be like, what the fuck is this? Turns out when you have a man living in your village who just knows everything, you can solve most problems by going and asking the man who knows everything. So I'm gonna put this outfit here right now. Start thinking of a backup to load up for the stream, because we've got maybe another half hour of this game left.
Hmm.
I mean, we could do the simple thing and just load up like Sentinels or something.
Yeah.
Because basically all we really have left here is we're going to go talk to old Smarty.
Talk to old Smarty, catch the River King.
Basically. Now, the River King is not the easiest thing in the world to catch, I will grant that. But that's pretty much the only reason why I'm even giving it that long, is because the River King can take some effort to actually catch. So we come in here, and old Smarty's like, oh, that's a fossil of the River King. Said to live in a mysterious underground lake. Where is said underground lake? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. So we could go around and ask some of the villagers, or we could just, like, know where it is. And also, for completing the fossil parts and turning it in, old Smarty gives us the Master's Pole.
Oh.
Which is an amazing rod with a reel, usable only by fishing masters. Now, this is not actually the best bait pole in the game, but I don't feel like dealing with all the shit to go get the best bait pole in the game, so... for reference, the best actual bait pole in the game involves a tie-in to Harvest Moon, so... And that after completing a certain amount of stuff, you can go to an area, and the character from the PS2 Harvest Moon game will actually be hanging out there and give you a rod. But yeah, you just swim up the waterfall here, and we are now at the underground lake. So the underground lake has a bunch of fish that are unique to it. The most important of said fish is, of course, the River King. So I don't think this is him, but we'll give it a try anyways. Nope. We've got an Asian arowana here. So one thing you may notice is that this underground lake is in fact fucking huge. There's also a further cave in the back of it. Now, the River King can actually show up in that first lake area, but is more typically found deeper into the cave. So, let's see what we got here. Just gonna swim away from me, huh? So the underground lake is where they stow all the weird fish.
Ah.
Which is, to a certain extent, kind of true to real life. Fish that live in, like, underground cave areas tend to be kind of very bizarre and funky.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So basically all you missed was we found the last piece of the fish fossil, went to Old Smarty, who was like, oh, this is a fossil of the River King. He's said to live in a mysterious underground lake, but nobody knows where it is. You should ask around the village. And then we just went up the river behind the waterfall.
The exact place where you would normally find a mysterious underground lake in a video game.
Pretty much.
Yep.
It is notable that this is not accessible until you have completed the fossil. That's what that sort of like big rumble was this actually opening up.
Ah.
So it is not a place you could like stumble upon accidentally earlier in the game and like completely sequence break things, but let's keep going deeper because it amuses me. So as you can see here, this is blocked off, so this is as deep as we can go. So as you may imagine, for the River King, we're looking for a very big fish silhouette.
Makes
However,
enough sense.
he is not actually any bigger silhouette-wise than the biggest class of fish, regardless. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the other thing you missed, Vince. Uh, we caught a 12.5 foot long monster catfish.
Ah,
Was 152 inches.
absolute nonsense.
That's a big fish.
Yeah. Let me check my notes here to see if I've got anything on this. Actually, that's a good point. What is our... Oh. Yeah, that'll be rough, but we can still probably do it.
Our fishing level.
Yeah. It is very difficult to catch the River King without a fishing technique level of at least 5,
Mm.
but...
Fishing, fishing, fishing.
Yep.
Fish.
Yep.
A freaky fish guy.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is not the River King. It's not dark enough. This is just an ordinary run-of-the-mill coelacanth.
Is the River King a coelacanth?
Yes.
No, he's a coelacanth.
Oh. least we don't have to catch Greek deities in this one.
Okay, in fairness, in the game that happens, that is technically the post game.
It still happens. Zeus still makes you catch him so you can marry his daughter.
Yep.
Or at least this is what he claims.
My memory's a little fuzzy, but it also may be to stop him from destroying the Earth.
That's worse.
Yeah, I was just implying he wanted to bone fish. Pretty normal for Zeus.
So the one thing of benefit is that most of the fish here in the underground lake also offer a decent amount of experience. So even though we're a little underleveled for trying to catch the River King, we will make up those levels pretty quickly. Like you could see each of those coelacanths I caught was like 35 XP.
Hmm.
Now that's the kind of stuff that happens when your fishing techniques fail, though.
Hmm.
Yeah, we should be all right. So the other thing being is that because getting through the underground lake involves either rowing or swimming basically everywhere, it can be pretty easy to actually run out of HP here. This is pretty much the only place in the game that ever comes up. Especially if fish escape on you, because again, that costs you more HP. Which is also part of the reason why I'm actually bothering to catch these coelacanths, because there's a possibility we may need to head back into town and buy food. that's the other thing that will sometimes happen if your fishing technique level is too low, is that they will like nibble at it, but you can't actually get them on the hook.
Hmm.
Because like those couple times you've seen that happen there, I have definitely hit the button. It just won't actually hook them because my fishing technique is too low. Are we looking at 52 still? We should be okay-ish. Come on, take the bait. I apologize for anyone who may have needed to pee before this. The constant dripping noises of the underground lake will certainly not help that any. Okay, we are actually going to take a brief diversion back into town to pick up food so that we don't pass out. Assuming we have enough HP to make it back out of the underground lake. Yeah, we should be alright.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much HP to go anywhere.
also have a whole bunch of coelacanths to sell off. And that motherfucker.
And that
Yeah.
monster catfish. Trying to feel tired.
Yeah, if your HP gets too low, you will get that little pop-up, but that's like at 20 HP, so we should be alright.
Just cram a raw fish down your throat.
Can't eat raw fish, unless you prepare that raw fish. It's been a long time since we've been back to the stream. I couldn't remember exactly where the town was. From there. Notably, that's also kind of a tradition of the series, is having the final area of the game be sort of right off of the first area.
You were so close the whole time, but yet so far.
Also means our father, in this case, was a complete idiot.
I mean, we never claimed that our father was good.
Yeah, you can see the fish from the
I'm
underground lake.
disappointed that our giant, massive, ridiculous catfish.
Look, just because it's 12.5 feet long doesn't mean it doesn't taste like fucking mud.
You're just gonna fry it up anyways. You could have that one fish and do an entire fish fry.
Yeah, but the fish from the underground lake do sell for ridiculous amounts of money. So,
People even eat coelacanths?
I mean, you can. It's
You can
fish.
eat anything, technically, but...
He does not have the food. That's going to be the other store. This is our house. No, this is the inn. Which we should actually also use the inn, just to restore our HP at present. For a measly 5 gold.
Coelacanths are considered a poor source of food for humans, unlikely most other fish-eating animals. Coelacanths' flesh has high amounts of oil, urea, wax esters, and other compounds that give the fish a distinctly unpleasant flavor, make it difficult to digest, and cause diarrhea. Their scales emit mucus, which combined with the excess of oil in their bodies produce many coelacanths as slimy food. Where coelacanth is more common, local fishermen avoid it because of its potential consumers. As a result, coelacanth has no real commercial value apart from being coveted by museums and private collectors.
Most expensive fish we sold.
Oh yeah, museums, man. They got government grants.
It's a collectible.
Alright, so now we're back up to our full 164 HP, and we have an entirely full pocket full of boxed lunches. Which restore a decent amount of HP, so we should be good from here to just power out, catching, hopefully, the River King. We accidentally ate a box lunch there, but that's okay.
Yeah, we have extras.
Yep. Should hopefully not take us all of the box lunches we have in order to catch the River King, although, who knows. So yeah, in general, the River King tends to appear kind of towards the center of the lake here. And also has the tendency to kind of vanish in and out pretty frequently, more frequently than most fish do.
Hmm.
There's a high likelihood that that was the River King because, again, that's the one that I can't actually hook on. So we're going to do some time catching some other fish here to bring my level up.
Gain another proficiency level.
Yeah. Kind of try and see if we can get to like fishing technique 4 and pull it off there, and if not, keep going until we get to 5. Damned fish would ever even bite. Take the bait! Take it.
Arise. Arise, River King, arise.
Well, I mean, we're not really going for the River King at the moment. We
Ah,
can't catch him.
No,
arise. Things adjacent to the River King, arise.
we're effectively EXP farming.
Yeah,
We've done too good up to this point. We have to waste time.
pretty
Yep.
much. I honestly kind of hadn't realized how low our fishing technique level was. Otherwise, I probably would have farmed more off stream to get that raised. But is what it is. So how's everyone been doing?
Not bad.
Yeah.
The barbecue place I like has opened up again near us.
How many times have you gone?
Only twice, actually.
Such strength.
Considering they've been open for 2 days, that's
Well, also, they weren't able to get steaks. So one of the things I usually get there, which is a pretty good steak for a barbecue place, is not available.
ah.
But I have eaten a lot of brisket. And it is some dang fine brisket.
Okay, one of you motherfuckers has to bite on something. Or you could also not let me catch you. There we go.
Defeat.
what you sign up for when you play fishing games.
Yep.
Unless they're ridiculous arcade things like Sega Bass Fishing. Which also are still quite fun, but very different style of game. Now that I've taken the frame limiter off.
That's unfortunate, Vorden. Especially if you spent like half an hour trying to rotate ears on your character. Certainly not something I did.
I'm not going to talk about how much time I've spent messing with sliders to make my PSO2 character.
I literally spent more time messing with the ears to get them right compared to anything else I did in that character creator combined.
And then they were like, hey, that's cool. Now design your auxiliary. And I was like, damn it, because I had forgotten that was even a thing.
When do you get an auxiliary?
Uh, Sometime? I don't remember. It's not too far in.
Which auxiliary?
It's literally called an auxiliary. That's
Oh,
what it
okay.
is.
It's a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a tiny person.
It is using the actual traditional definition of said word, i.e., somebody who is in support of you in a military capacity. It is basically a custom-designed NPC companion you can make that you can also send out on certain quests for the item gathering quests. You can actually send them out to do them, similar to how you can do retainer quests in 14.
Yeah.
Notably, by the way, for those of you that were playing with me last night and the voice chat and all that, when I decided to try and send them out for the purple flowers, not only did they succeed, they got 10 purple flowers, which is twice what I needed.
I assume these purple flowers are needed for something.
One of the current event quests. More importantly, completing that event quest is one of the boxes on the current bingo card, and it was the last box on that bingo card which I needed, so I completed the bingo card and now have the mag evolution item to turn my mag into a frog rappy once it's level 100 if I feel like doing so. I mean, I realistically probably don't, but
Only thing I need for my mag is to have a pile of deck.
yeah, I focus on range attack.
Well, just kind of doing Bouncer, which has the
Yeah.
Dex is melee and tech, so.
Yep. I, meanwhile, am doing Gunner, which cares about nothing but shoot harder, so.
Shootman.
Shoot harder the stat.
I mean, for mags, it actually is, but.
Yeah, you can melee harder, you can shoot harder, you can tech harder. You can... I don't know what Dex actually does for you.
Oh, thanks, Gordon. We appreciate that. I mean, again, as we so frequently say, we're not really necessarily doing this to have, large viewership or become super popular or anything like that, but it's nice to have somebody actually watch our shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy we have the potential to disappoint more people.
That's not true. He shared Trails in the Sky, not King's Quest.
Yeah.
Fair.
King's Quest, you guys were actually probably more competent, if anything, than usual.
Okay, in fairness, that's because I literally
Because we
how to
knew
play-
everything about
Yeah,
King's
yeah.
Quest.
Well, no, it's because you pulled up a guide for King's Quest, but, I would too.
very
They-
rarely
fairness.
reference
Yeah,
the
not
guide.
for much stuff.
No.
Yeah,
we didn't have a
I
guide.
very
for
rarely
3.
reference the guide for the first 2 games.
Yeah. For 3 you did, and there's no shame in that.
No.
Oh,
3,
yeah, no,
3,
nobody
3 you
remembers.
use the guide specifically because you're on a fucking timer because the game is bullshit.
If you ask Roberta Williams, she couldn't tell you how to beat 3.
And we used the guide from 3 mostly for doing the spells, because they're all very specific,
Yeah.
text things you have to type out.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
want to go back and forth between the book and the interface more than we had to.
Yeah, I wouldn't really wish Enchanted Arms on anyone. If I was actually doing that as an edited series to YouTube as opposed to us just doing a Twitch Let's Play, it might come out to 20 or 30 minutes.
And I mean, hell, for when we actually got to King's Quest V, between Krampus and I, we basically didn't look at a guide at all.
Yeah. King's Quest V was one of the first games that I ever played as a young child.
And
With
as for
my
me,
dad.
it was not one of the first games I ever played, but it's definitely the King's Quest game I've played more than any other. So I pretty much have it memorized. Someday, time permitting, we will actually get those ones edited and up.
Yep. Of all the ones that broke me, in spite all the waiting in 3, 4 is so boring it was actually
4
very,
is
very
insanely
challenging.
boring. And it should be noted, 4 was my first King's Quest game, and yet somehow I still had enough interest in the series to play others.
Well, I mean, in 3 we're actually doing things besides the 2 giant weight nonsense parts.
Yes.
No, Perils of Rosella is without a doubt the worst King's Quest game, other than possibly Mask of Eternity,
Yeah,
which doesn't count.
I have to take my previous statement back because I was mixing up 3 and 4. 4, The Perils of Rosella, is the one that, if you asked Roberta Williams, the woman who wrote and by and large created that series, she could not tell you how to beat 4 off the top of her head without looking at the guide.
Yeah, no, 3 is Air Today, Gone Tomorrow.
No, I think
No.
3 was aired. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
That one is, I think it's Air Be Human. Or something like
To Air is Human.
Cheers, yeah.
Yeah, because 6, I think, is Air Today, Gone Tomorrow, then.
No, 3 is To Air is Human, 4 is just The Perils of Rosella.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
And 5 is something.
Absence makes the heart go yonder.
Yeah.
6 is Air Today, Gone Tomorrow, 7's The Princeless Bride, and then 8 is Disavowed by the Fit.
One is A Night to Remember, and 2 is a terrible MIDI rendition of Green Sleeves.
2 is Romancing the Throne, I think is what
Yep.
it's called.
Yeah, I was romantic.
You are correct.
Hey, we should be quite proud of that terrible MIDI of Green Sleeve. That's our most popular video.
Yes.
yes, it is. For good reason, actually.
Okay, Valkyria Chronicles is like the thing about Valkyria Chronicles is incredibly dumb story aside, the actual gameplay is fine.
Mostly,
Yeah.
it could use some polish, but for a first in a series, I don't even blame it too much on that.
Yeah, and to be fair, it did get that polish later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Valkyria Chronicles 3 is honestly probably one of the best games of that like genre.
The Valkyria Chronicles genre, because I'm not sure if anyone else does this.
There's a couple other entries, mostly we don't get them over here, but But like no, by the time they got to like Valkyria Chronicles 3, they had really polished the formula, and it's actually mechanically damn near perfect. Like, yeah, the big thing about Valkyria Chronicles, honestly, is just kind of how insanely boring that story is when it should by no means be.
It's also schizophrenic, which does not help.
Yeah.
It's kind of trying to be both an anime and a war story, and is not good at blending these.
It's a good way to put it. See, sometimes, Morton, we use a thing called hyperbole to exaggerate how bad we actually feel about things. Also, any game you're playing is significantly more draining when you're streaming it.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm just sitting down to play a game, like right now, I've got to be honest, this game is kind of killing my soul too, even though this is quite literally my favorite game series in existence, and probably one of my favorite games of all time. But trying to make good content for it for a stream is rough because of the style of game it is, and like these coelacanths are busting my balls by not cooperating, which is making things harder. If I was just
And we are
playing this for fun, like I wouldn't care that I'm spending 6 hours sitting here grinding up my level to get more fishing technique to catch the River King. But like,
But like when you want to catch the River King for the stream, the spending here trying to catch a giant pile of coelacanth just to catch a giant pile of coelacanth level up your skill isn't the most exciting content.
Which means that we have to actually kind of make up content by talking about things. That's
Yeah.
something you generally don't have to do when you're on your own.
yeah.
But you do anyways because you're slowly going insane.
I mean, realistically, when I'm grinding off stream in this
Oh, that
game, I
might
have
just be
something
me.
else up on my second monitor, so.
There's
Yeah.
that too, yeah.
Like, generally, when I'm grinding in this game, I'm literally, like, watching a stream on my other monitor. Because, as I've mentioned in previous encounters in this game, you can play this game almost entirely by sound alone. So I don't actually have to be paying attention visually to it, so I can watch something else. Absolute worst case, if I'm being real, if this takes much longer, like if we start running towards kind of the time we usually end stream, I may just grind off stream, get up to the level,
We'll start the
record.
next one with a very quick catch the River King move on.
I may actually literally just record a video of me doing it that we play at the start,
Ah,
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
and then go on to whatever we're doing.
Or just cut to the first level of the first God of War where you're fighting the sea serpent. A dramatic reenactment of the harrowing victory against the sea.
I have thought about it, Bort. Unfortunately, and I know you're kind of joking about it, but like I have actually thought about it. But unfortunately, you cannot play this game entirely by sound alone because there is no actual audio indicator when there are fish in the water nearby. It is only once you've actually cast your line that you can go entirely by audio.
Yeah, this game is unfortunately not every Punch-Out game.
those you could play blindfolded using 2 games controlled by a single controller.
Or 2 people controlling 1 controller, both blindfolded.
Ah,
Or Wii Punch-Out, where the biggest difficulty is actually the menus.
Yes.
bite, you stupid fish.
They objectively refuse to bite this low-quality bait.
I'm not going to bite this, and in fact, I'm going to cease to exist.
I shall phase through this wall instead of bite this bait.
Okay.
Good day, sir.
So. Oh god, Super Mario Odyssey speedruns are fucking wild. And yeah, I've seen blindfolded speedruns on that game. It's, interesting how they pull it off. A lot of it is very precise spacing and timing.
But how many
More
A
so
presses
than
do they
audio
use?
cues. Okay.
Or half A presses.
Okay, so the half A press thing is not actually a speed run.
No, I know it's not a
No.
speedrun thing.
By virtue of the fact that it takes like 16 hours.
In general, half A presses aren't for speed runs; it's more for challenge runs.
Yeah, the actual half A press Mario 64 thing is essentially this very interesting technical aspect of Mario 64.
No, it's not, I know it's not a speedrun.
That is
I only
like-
bring it up because it is a Mario-related thing.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not a speedrun, it's a very interesting, like, technical thing that is in no way of any actual use to playing the game. But it's just, like, very fascinating about how the game is actually constructed.
Alternate dimensions, on the other hand, is actually useful for
Yes,
for
alternate dimensions
speedrun.
are actually useful in speedrun.
Yeah.
Although some of the alternate dimension tricks also take, like, theoretically 70 hours to trigger. So,
Yes, those ones are not useful in speedruns for obvious reasons.
I'll go try and get them. So, also to fill time and kind of talk about some other things that are going on, Krampus, while I'm kind of focusing on this stuff here, you want to talk a little bit about the project I have looped you into because it's partially your fault?
Yes. So, Bograt and I both are appreciators of a lot of old style, like 60s, 70s, and 80s cartoons.
Both for
And
better
recently,
and worse.
for better and worse. But I'm not going to say we like good ones, but we have an appreciation for them.
We do like good ones. We also enjoy bad ones for all the wrong reasons.
Yes. So, recently, after talking about Scooby-Doo for a while and linking a video to it in our private Discord, Bograt has undertaken a quest to rank and rate all of the shows that are on the Boomerang Classic Cartoon Network. This includes shows such as Laugh Olympics, such as, I'm sure the Hair Bear Bunch is in there somewhere.
Hair Bear Bunch is actually not. I was kind of disappointed because
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
As terrible as Hair Bear Bunch is, I fucking love the Hair Bear Bunch.
I have a large affection for a lot of these shows simply because I was a small kid while, I wasted a lot of time as a small kid watching these, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, everyone kind of has those particular songs that at some level are always in the background of their brain. The opening theme for Hair Bear Bunch is absolutely one of those for me.
Yes, so it's a project to rank every show that Boomerang shows.
And then we're gonna start watching the worst ones.
That wasn't our deal, Vader!
Insert alter the deal line.
Agreement.
Yeah.
Pray I do not alter it further.
You were the fool who trusted him.
I mean, let's be real here. Y'all quite frequently let me have control of the remote when Netflix is involved. You knew what you were in for.
Should start chaining that thing up. Get a biometric TV remote.
Oh, I see the can.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, Q Rangers is a good show, but like honestly, like if I'm being totally real, even when I watch like Super Sentai or Kamen Rider shows, I tend to watch like half of them, then like take a break, then come back for the other half, just because they can kind of be dense to get through sometimes.
Yep.
Like the very rare time where this doesn't happen is if it's a show that like particularly really appeals to me. So like O's, I got through in completely one sitting. Kamen Rider O's. Lupin Ranger versus Patch Ranger, I watched through completely. But like, it is very uncommon for me to go through all of a Super Sentai or a Kamen Rider show, like all in one block without watching something else in between. It's usually not like a long thing in between. It'll be like, you know, I'll watch a movie or two or something like that, just to kind of get some other media consumption in, but...
Level one up.
Our level did go up, but unfortunately we did not get a fishing technique increase out of it.
Yeah, that being the flaw of this.
Yeah, so I think I might honestly call it here for River King and just do what I said I was going to do, is do some off-screen grinding, probably record a video of me catching the actual River King and play it back when we start the next stream. In the meantime, we had discussed it about what to do in the alternative. If one of you wants to get, probably Krampus if you can, get like Sentinels up and going and set up, and then when you're ready let me know and we can switch over.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll do
I'll
like
get
we'll do like a round of Sentinels.
Yep, I'll get a game ready.
Yep,
And
I'll get that stuff set up.
Vince can actually provide like commentary and explanation a little bit better than we usually manage to, because we're in the middle of playing the game while we're also trying to talk about the game.
As much as I can, anyways, from watching a screen.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah. It is something where I'm qualified to do color commentary, I'll give you that.
yeah.
Okay. Do you want to quit the stream on your end, and I'll restart it on mine?
Yep. All right. We'll be back in just a second, folks. We're switching gears over to Sentinels. We'll play a game of that. And
Yeah.
like I said, next week we'll be back. Before we're starting, I think plan was the next Trails in the Sky game. We'll have a brief, probably like 2-minute video of me actually catching the River King, just so you can see how ridiculous that mofo is. So hold with us. We'll be back in just like probably 30 seconds to a minute here.
Yep.
Yep.